Hey, welcome back to Coding Hub, where we unravel the mysteries of programming. In this particular video, we'll be discussing about the conditional statements in Python. We often encounter situations where decisions need to be made. Let us consider a simple example. Suppose you and your friends are planning for a trip, and this trip is completely dependent upon the rain. So if it is raining, then the trip might get cancelled. But if it is not raining, then the trip might still be open for all, right? Now, these are the basic places where conditional statement can be useful, from basic if-else structure to more intricate nested condition. Understanding how to build this tool is crucial for any coder. Whether you are just starting your coding adventure or looking to strengthen your Python skills, you are in the right place. Throughout this tutorial, we'll be exploring the ins and outs of Python conditional statements. We'll be covering practical examples, discuss best practices, and venture into more advanced concepts. And here is the ice on the cake. By the end of this video, we'll be applying our newfound knowledge to create a text-based adventure game. It's a hands-on way to solidify what we have learned and have some coding fun. Make sure to grab your coding setup, get comfortable, and let's dive into the fascinating realm of Python conditional statement together. Okay, so before starting with the video, in the previous episode, I have discussed about the conditional operators, and it will be required over here. So if you don't know about the conditional operators in Python, you can navigate back to that video, which will be on the I button on the top right corner. Now, after completing that particular tutorial, you can come back to this video. It will basically help you to understand much clearly. Okay, so let us understand what conditional statements are. Okay, so conditional statements are everywhere in the real world. Whether it is raining, and you want to go outside or not, whether you can give vote or you cannot give vote, whether you are, up in a particular age group. For this, you will be requiring conditional statement. So what is conditional statement? It is either true or false. So what we are trying to say, if there is a question, there will be two solutions to it, okay? And that thing can be achieved using conditional statement. Let us consider a simple example where we'll be requiring, a variable which will be basically weather, and then we can initialize a value to it like rainy, okay? So we are saying that the weather is rainy, right? Now what we can say, if, we are asking if weather, equals rainy, then what we will be saying is that print, then we can say don't go outside, right? Now similarly, there will be another part to if, which is else. So this basically does the opposite to that. We will be discussing it. So we can simply say you can go outside. Okay, so let us understand what is happening over here. So here is the if, okay, and to this if there is a condition which is this one, okay. So what we are saying, if weather equals rainy, that means if weather is rainy, don't go outside. But if it is not rainy, then you can go outside, okay. So if this condition fails, then this automatically gets triggered, and if this condition is true, then it will be not called, okay. So let us run this code, and we can simply see that don't go outside because the weather was rainy, right? Now we can have more things. Let us consider a simple example where a person will be enjoying on the weekends. For this, what we can simply say, import datetime. Now datetime is basically a module. Now we haven't discussed module till now, but we'll be discussing more about module in our upcoming videos, so don't worry about this. Simply for now, you can consider that a module is a Python file which will be having multiple predefined functions, classes, and we are basically using them directly by importing them, okay. So here we can say that current time. Okay, let us do one more thing. We can simply copy this out and let us keep it on the top. Okay. Now we can come over here and we can simply say that current time equals date time, okay, dot date time, dot now. So we are basically fetching the current time, and then there will be time. Okay, so you don't have to understand this for now. We'll be discussing all of this in our upcoming videos. For now, just you can remember as we are basically fetching the current time. Okay, now after this, what we'll be doing, we'll be saying, okay, so in this time we have to do one more thing. We have to simply, instead of this, we can go with weekdays. So we'll be not requiring the time, but we'll be requiring the weekdays. Okay, now we can simply say if today in, okay, in what there will be 5 6, okay, then what we can say, we can simply say that, and we have to initialize it to today. So we are basically having today's time, and then we can come over here and then we can simply say that print it's the weekend. Okay, it's the weekend and you can enjoy or do whatever you want. Now we'll be simply reformatting the file over here, and now if we run the code, what we get, we simply get it's the weekend, because the reason is simple, because today over here it is Saturday. Okay, so we are getting this, it's the weekend. Okay, so this is how you will be utilizing if-else statements during coding. Okay, now let us move on with the code. Now the next thing which we'll be doing is that we'll be focusing on nested if-else and other like ternary operators and all of this. For this, what we can do is we can come over here and we can say, like, let us focus on the ternary operator for first. So how do we define a ternary operator, or a short circuit evaluation? For this, we can simply say age equals, let us consider an age 22. Okay, and we are basically checking whether the person is adult or minor. For this, we can simply say result. We are storing it in result, and we can simply say result equals adult. Okay, and if age is greater than equals 18, else we'll be saying this person is basically minor. Okay, so this is how you achieve this, and it is very simple. And after this, what we'll be doing, we'll be simply saying print, and we are using the string, and then we'll be saying you are classified as result. Okay, so we are also done with this. We can give a space over here, which it is asking. Okay, now there is one. Okay, now if we see this code, what we are doing, we are initializing the age to 22. After this, what we are saying, that the person, if its age is greater than 18, it will be adult, else what it will be a minor. And then we are finally printing that result using the format string method. Okay, now we can simply run this particular block, and then we can get that you are classified as adult, because the condition was simple, the age has to be greater than or equivalent to 18. Okay, now let us move on with more codes. Now what we can do is that let us focus on a nested condition. So for this, what we can do, we can simply say temperature. So we'll be saying temperature, now we have to initialize the temperature. Let us suppose it is 25, and then we can say if temperature is less than, okay, or we can say it can be greater than 20, then we can simply come over here and we can say print. What we can say, we can simply say the weather is warm. Okay, and we can come over here and we can say if temperature, so in temperature we know that if it is 20 degree, then we can say that the temperature is somewhere between warm. And then if it is too warm, for this we'll be writing another condition where we'll be saying if the temperature is above 30, then we can simply say that print it's we can simply say it's a hot day. Okay, it's a hot day. Okay, now we can simply run this particular block of code also. So we have set the temperature 25. So what we'll be getting, let us understand. So firstly this will be checked and the temperature is definitely greater than 20 as it is 25. So this value will be printed, which is the weather is warm. After this condition will be checked where it is asking whether the temperature is greater than 30. Now our temperature is 25, so this condition will be false. So we'll be only getting this, the weather is warm. Okay, so let us run this code. Okay, now we are getting the same, the weather is warm. Okay, so now you are starting to understand what are nested if else and what is basically ternary operators, and what is basically simple if else blocks. Okay, now let us focus more, and over here what we can do is we can have more things. Okay, so the thing is that in real life condition you will be having more things. So what type of more things? So you will be having more condition aligned with other conditions. Okay, for this what we can do, we can simply say user input. Now we have discussed user input in our previous videos. For this you can simply click on the I button and you can simply navigate to that video if you are not aware about that. Now we'll be having the input function over here. Now inside this we have to pass. So we'll be saying how do you feel about coding, and then we'll be providing him basically some of the options. And in this option we'll be having love, we can have like, and then we can have dislike. Okay, so these are basic things which we'll be providing, and we can also have a question mark over here for more better clearance. Okay, now the next thing will be to have our first if, which will be checking if user input equals love. Then what we can say is that fantastic. We can simply say fantastic. Okay, and the next thing can be another if else. Okay, so we'll be checking for another if condition. For this we can simply come over here and we can say elif. So what is elif? So elif is basically we are combining else with if. So what we are saying, if this condition is false, then there is a else, and inside this else we are having a if. Okay, so now let us focus on this. We can simply say if user input if it is equals like, okay, then we can simply say that great. Okay, so we can simply say great, and then we can come down and then we can have another elif. Wait a minute, we can have another elif, and then inside this elif we can simply say if user input equals dislike. If it is dislike, then what we can say no worries. Okay, so we can simply say no worries, so no worries, and we'll be having one more r over here. Okay, so we are also done with this. Now we will be having the last thing, which will be a else, and we can say print, and we can say wrong, or we can say basically invalid response. So we'll be saying invalid response because we were basically wanting to enter the user either love, like, or dislike. So if the user doesn't choose any of the three, then it will be definitely an invalid choice, right? Now we'll be removing this space, and now if we compile this code, then what it is asking us, for something, and we can simply say love, and then we get this fantastic. Okay, so there is one more circular bracket, it has to be there. For this we have to remove this over here, and we can bring it up over here. And now if we recompile the code, just a second, what is happening over here? Okay, so we have to close the circular bracket, and now if we'll compile the code, yeah, now it is fine. And if we have dislike over here, we are getting no worries. Okay, so till now what we have discussed the basic if else conditions. Okay, then we have understood how to deal with the ternary operator. we have also done with the nested if else. Then we have also understood the if-elif condition. Okay, so now we have gathered sufficient information and knowledge about conditional statement, and we can now jump into our adventure game, using which we'll be understanding more about this if-else, if-elif, and nested if-else conditions. Okay, so for this, what we have to do, we have to simply remove this entire code for now. Okay, now we can start with the code. For this, we'll be requiring a module. Now for this, we can simply say import random. Now random module will basically be used to randomly generate values. We'll be understanding why we'll be using this. Now we'll be having a function over here which will be dev start adventure. Okay, now this dev keyword is basically used to define a function. Now a function is a block of code which will be having some functionalities. We'll be discussing this in our upcoming videos. Okay, now let us focus on the next thing. So we'll be simply welcoming the user. We can simply say welcome, welcome to Python adventure game. Okay, so we are basically welcoming the user. We have to reformat this. Okay, now it is reformatted. Now the next thing will be to ask for the player's name. So we can show we can show the player name. For this we can simply say player name equals to input, and we'll be taking the input. We can simply say enter your character name. So we'll be asking him to enter his character name. Now the next thing will be to focus on the remaining parts. Then we can simply welcome the particular user. We can simply say hello, and for this we can simply use the f string. Now we'll be having f over here, and then we can simply say player name, hello player name, and then we can have this, that your journey begin. We can have this, that your journey begins. Okay, now the next thing what we can do is we'll be having a while loop over here. In this while loop the condition will be true, okay, forever. So it is a never ending loop. Now the next thing will be to have our print statement over here, and then we can simply say the user to like choose your path. So we can simply say choose your path. Okay, so we are done with this. Now the next thing will be to focus on the next thing, which will be basically print. Okay, and then inside this we can simply say explore the forest. So we are basically providing user with the choices he want to choose. Then the second choice will be create cross, you can say cross the river. And the next thing we can have over here is simply the third thing, which can be like we can say enter the cave. And the next thing will be another one. Let us consider like quit the adventure. So the user can quit the adventure at any time. So for this we can simply say quit. Just a second. We can simply say quit the adventure. Okay, so it is also done. So now we are basically asking the user for his choices, and upon the user give us the choice. For this we have to firstly ask the user to provide us the input. For this we can simply use the input function, and then we can simply say enter your choice. Okay, and it will be in the range of 1 to 4. Okay, so now the user can basically provide his choices, and this is all what we wanted. So what is happening? So we are having an endless loop which will run again and again. Now it will be asking the user again and again to enter or choose from any of these choices, which is basically explore the forest, cross the river, enter the cave, or quit the adventure. Now let us move into the next part where we'll be having our if-elif. Now for this we'll be having if. Now we can have choice equals 1. So if the choice is 1, we can call the explore forest function. We can simply say explore forest. Now after this what we can do, we will be having the circular brackets. Okay, so we are done with this. Now we'll be having elif over here. Now in this elif we'll be having choice equals 2, and then if the choice is 2, so for 2 will be crossing the river, we can simply say cross river. Okay, now for the next thing we'll be having another elif, which will basically for the third choice, and the third choice was basically to enter the cave. For this we can simply say enter cave. Okay, and the next thing was our quit the adventure case. For this we can simply say elif elif choice equals 4, and then we can basically print a message which will be like thanks for playing, and then we can simply have our break over here, which will basically break the while loop entirely. Okay, so we are also done with this. Now the next thing will be to have our else. Now in this else what we can say, in this else we can come over here and we can simply say invalid choice, right? So it will be an invalid choice, right? Now let us start defining each of this function one by one. So let us firstly define the first function, which will be our explore forest. So it will be explore forest, and then inside this explore forest what we can have, we can simply come over here and we can say that that you have entered into the dense forest. So you have entered the dense forest. So we are basically providing a text message which will make it look cool. Now the next thing will be to handle the event. We can simply say event. Okay, so in this event what we can do, we can simply say random dot choice, and this choices will be like inside a list. So we can simply say found a treasure chest, and then the next thing which we can have is basically we can say that we have lost temporarily. For this we can simply come over here and then we can have a comma over here, and then we can say lost. For this we have to also have a string. We can simply say lost tempo that. Okay, so what it will do is it will choose from any of this randomly. Okay, so either you will be finding a chest or you will be lost. Okay, now we have somehow able to achieve this function. Now what we can do is we can simply print what event has occurred. Okay, for this what we can do, we can come over here and we can simply say print, and then inside this we can use the f string and we can say while exploring you, what you have done, you have basically done this event, or you have find out this event. Okay, and now we can have the same thing. Okay, now what we can do, we can copy out this code and then we can have the same thing for the other three. Okay, so you can simply come over here. Now in this explore forest we'll be having this cross river and this one. For this we can simply remove this and we can say that we can simply have a message that you decided. So we can remove this. We can simply say you decided to cross the river. Okay, we'll remove this. Okay, now here we have to also give two. So for this what we can say is that we can come over here and we can simply say that you were able to cross the river and for this we can simply have current of water too high, retrieve back to start. Okay, so we'll be retrieving back to start. So we have also done this. Now the next thing will be to have this, which was cave, right? So we have to give this cave. Now we can simply remove this, and then we can have something over here, and this can be like, like you have entered into a dark cave. So for this we can simply say that you entered the dark cave. And then we can have something like, it's a dead end, or we can say, you discovered a hidden passage. So for this we can simply say found hidden passage, or we can simply say dead end ahead. Okay, so we are now done with the code. Okay, and then we can see if there is any error over here. So we are basically having all the usages, and then what we can do is we can start the adventure. For this we will be coming over here, and then we can simply say if name underscore underscore equals underscore main underscore, and then we can simply say that call the function which was start adventure. Okay, now let us understand what is happening over here. So we are basically having error over here, which was in this elif. Okay, so we have to give this. Okay, now we are almost done with this. We can we are basically using it over here, and all of this are done. We can simply reformat the file for once, and all of this warning will also go. Okay, so now let us run the code. Now it is asking for a name. We can simply say Dora. Okay, now it is saying that choose your path, let us explore the forest. Now it is saying that you entered the dense forest while exploring, you lost temporarily. So it has chosen randomly one. Now we can let us explore one more time the forest, and this time it says that we have found a treasure chest, right? Now let us try to cross the river. For this we can simply come over here and we can say 2. Now when we decided to cross the river, we were able to cross the river. So now let us check for the cave, and now we said that you entered the dark cave while exploring, you dead end ahead. Also we can have more things over here. We can simply say come over here and we can say you entered the dark cave, while exploring, you found out, and then it will be much better now. So if we rerun the code and we directly say like Dora, and we try to go with 3, now it is looking much better that while exploring you found out dead end ahead. Now let us handle with the quit event. For this we can simply say 4, and now thanks for playing game, and we were exited, right? Okay, so in this video, what we have covered, we have basically covered the conditional statements. We have seen example for different types of scenarios, and at the end, we have, build up a simple simulation which was basically achieved using the conditional statements. Now you can, imagine different things and you can achieve different things using this conditional statements. For now, what you can do, you can simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share the video with your lovely ones. It helps us, and it will also help you to stay updated with our latest content. Till then, have a great coding journey ahead.